spirituality and dating. If you guys have a question you want to ask, feel free to. Let me make sure the sound is better. I don't know what that sound is. I really don't. I really don't. Let's try something. I'm gonna try one more thing. Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear me better. Okay. This should be better. It might be my air conditioner. That's the only thing I can think of. But hopefully you guys can hear me. Okay. It might. I'm going to just use my mic. Okay. So yeah, we're going to do a good hour on here, you guys. So the topic of discussion is going to be spirituality and dating. Okay. So yeah. Y'all, I'm not good at this tech stuff for real. Like, I don't know what the hell I be doing. I'll just be like doing it. I don't know. Yeah. So, you guys, let's go ahead and do our Q&A. I'm gonna start off with those um, from Instagram that asked their questions, and then good. Okay. It might have been the air conditioner, honestly, because I think somebody said that in another live, and when it went off, they could hear better. So I'm assuming that's what it is. I don't know. So yeah, let's go ahead and start. If you guys want to leave your questions, your Q&A for spirituality and dating going hand in hand, I will be glad to answer. And this is an open discussion. My answer is not gospel truth or everyone's truth, or may not resonate with you or whoever. Someone else, if you feel free to chime in. It's a discussion, so please, by all means, okay? The sound is better, thank goodness. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead on over to Instagram's questions. And all right, everybody's saying the sound is better. Okay. All right, Q&A. Let's get it popping. There's a little delay. It's okay. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Let me see. And I won't call, like, if you guys did it via Instagram, I won't leave your name, like, or I won't say your name or anything if that's something that you don't want, absolutely don't want. YouTube is doing the most today. Like, it really just does not want me to be great. Alright, anywho. So let me scroll down here. Okay, someone asked the question, how do we know we are the divine feminine or divine masculine? I feel like we can embody both energies. The word, I would always say, like, okay, this is my take on femininity and this is my take on masculinity. We've been given a specific type or archetype of what a man should be or masculine energy should be, just as we've been given what femininity is. So most people will say, oh, femininity is someone that is soft and delicate and quiet and dresses in pink and has dresses on and heels. Like, that's not the only aspect of femininity in my eyes. And a lot of it is based off of what you can and can't do as a male or female, or masculine energy or feminine energy, how you dress, how you look, your physique. And I don't feel like that's the box we should put femininity and masculinity in. So just like, how do you know whether you're divine feminine or divine masculine? I feel like it's something that could be interchangeable in a sense, but as a woman, to own your divine femininity means to be sovereign in how you express your femininity, not what the world says. Oh, this is what's feminine, this is what masculine. That's my take on that. So hopefully that makes sense. Second question that I received from Instagram, I'm not going to say you guys' name, you guys know your questions probably. Is it normal to have an inner knowing of who your future partner despite your present relationship? Yes, most definitely. This is a thing. Like, I remember, I at least personally know people that know who their spouse was or knew who their spouse was before they married them. One of my very good friends, Kenya, that is married to this day, my aunt, and another fellow reader, and I'm not going to say her name just to keep her business out there, but I remember I looked at a comment because I was led to look at a post that I made on Instagram years ago. And I looked at her comment and she said, when I first seen my husband, I knew that he was my husband. I felt like I was crazy. She's married. So she's like, I thought I was crazy. So yes, it's very possible. I would always take it to the divine and like confirm whether or not that's true. But yeah, that's absolutely, that can happen. You can know who your husband or your wife or your person is, whatever. When you meet them, it's an inner knowing. Just like maybe when you meet someone of your soul tribe, like a fellow sister or fellow brother, spiritual, tribe member, and you'll look at them and be like, there's something significant about you, or I know that you're going to play some type of significant role in my life. Like, yeah, you could know, most definitely. That inner knowing, yeah. So yes. What's y'all take so far? I want to see the comments. Dating is not the same for me since my fellow spirit and my spirituality. I've been single for 4 years now, but I really feel better. I'll share my experience. I'm supposed to do a podcast with Nina of Collective Culture. She's a fellow reader as well. She does coaching and stuff like that as well. I'm supposed to talk about, I don't want to tell too much of my experience, but I resonate with that, Gabby, as well. But yeah, so let me know so far, like, what's y'all take on how do you know you're a divine feminine or divine masculine? See, I don't play into that too much. I do embrace my divine femininity more because I feel like I was operating in masculine energy a little bit too much, meaning like the lower vibration of it, and being a little bit trying to control everything in my life and not allowing that flow and receptivity and pursuing and chasing. That's not flow, right? Feminine energy is receptivity. It is flow. It's also powerful. It's a silent power, and it's also a expressive power within itself. Just being you. Like, I don't want to put femininity in a box. This delicate flower, that's not the only element to femininity. But yeah. And then, do you believe that you can know who your future partner is, even if the relationship might be a little bit on the rocks or a little bit confusing? And I don't want people to covet and idolize marriage and idolize unions and partnerships too much. It's okay to have that understanding of what you're dealing with and where you're at with it. But yeah, I believe it's possible because I've heard it. I've heard people say this before, and it actually has come to pass for them. So this one is from one of my sisters. Her question is how to properly clear out energy from a previous partner, how to protect your connection from people who don't approve or hate it. I'm going to answer the second question that you asked first. Anything that's sacred, you want to protect it. For me, I feel like you don't want to fear haters or the enemy or like bad, evil eye on your stuff. Like, to me, sometimes I feel it's best to keep things I'm working on or whatever behind the scenes. I don't feel like it's something that should be exploited. I don't like sharing my child on social media all the time. I don't feel led to do that. You know what I mean? When it comes to a union, most definitely, especially if it's something that comes from God or the divine, it was, orchestrated by a divine source and force, most definitely protect it. How do you do that? Don't tell nobody your business. Like, you can cultivate your relationship in secret between the both of you and still honor each other. Like, nowadays everybody needs that approval. You got to be posted on social media, like, oh, if he posts me then it's real. I didn't see people cheat on people they post, talking about, oh, we went on vacation together, and oh, we went out to, like, so what? Like, people still cheat. So you can still cultivate your relationship in secret and build it where you're not telling everybody, even those that you love that may really truly want to see you happy. But you never know what will trigger a person's jealousy, insecurities. They may say, oh, I want you to be happy, I want you to get married, and then as soon as you say, oh, I'm engaged, and somebody's nose gets turned up, I feel like it's best to cultivate your relationship behind the scenes however long you feel led to. Shoot, if you feel led to do it after you get married, shoot, do that. Post your person after you get married. That's your prerogative. But how do you do that? Just keep it between you two or those that you truly trust. But I feel like your union should be a foundation between you and God, or source, whatever you call your spiritual team. You don't got to go to your girlfriends about everything. Some of them are not called, or may not have the spiritual maturity enough to speak on your situation. They may only speak based off of their own experience, or they may not be someone that is receptive to be used by spirit. But anybody can be used by divine spirit, just as anybody can be used by a demonic source, right? But like I said, just use your discernment, and your foundation should be built between you and God, and you and your person first and foremost. That was one of the key things that one of my sisters did say, was when she first met her husband, she didn't tell her family, she didn't tell her friends, she didn't even tell me. At the time, I was her reader at the time, but she didn't even tell me until later, when they already had married, and because people are going to have their 2 cents on things, and they may not understand it. The world's not going to understand, oh, why are these two people together? Oh, you shouldn't. And if it's something that is not right for you, like you dating a married man or married woman or something, then that's different. Like, I'm not condoning that. Your first question was how to properly clear out energy from a previous partner. Cut out any type of, first and foremost, cut contact off with that person. Don't check that person's social media. Get rid of any items of this person. And it might be hard, and you'll know that you're attached to someone or something when you get rid of something, or you delete them or something, and you cry. That's a sign of release. And that's also a sign that there was some type of connection or attachment, especially to items. If it's like pictures or something. And I know that's not easy to do, because a lot of people still keep pictures that they find to be sacred, and especially between people you love, right? Whether that's family members or friends, people that you just have to cut out of your life, right? Items, I would say get rid of items for sure. Spiritually, denounce any spiritual or soul ties or contracts to that person. Do a soul tie prayer, or do a spiritual null and void of the relationship. Call back any remnants or pieces of yourself that you may have given away illegally, spiritually illegally, or this person had taken from you. Also, for me, my abstinent journey, I'm not going to go too much into that. I stopped having sex because it was really disgusting, after a while, because I didn't have a real relationship or a connection with that person anymore. So I was doubling back and sleeping with somebody that I know I had no business, sharing my body, and I'm like, this possibly is blocking my person. I just felt disgusting, and I said, Spirit, I'm not giving myself away to anybody until I have my husband. I'm not gonna do that. So I did a whole yoni cleanse, and it took probably some months to clear my energy, my womb of that stuff, physically, spiritually, energetically. So that's one. Okay, one's for my other sis. Her question is, how do you feel about dating someone who isn't on your level spiritually? Good question, sis. Well, I've tried that. And I don't like to judge people because I might not be on a certain spiritual level. Like, let's say, for instance, there's somebody that is way more spiritually mature than me, is way more disciplined in their spiritual walk, way more connected to God in a way that I have not reached or understand, right, in my journey, because I'm still young, you know. And age is not necessarily a cap or limit or greater. The higher you in age you are, the more enlightened. No, it's not the case, trust me, and we all know that probably. So I would say that sometimes you could be called to a person that is either spiritually higher in consciousness maturity than you, or vice versa, and it could be things that you are meant to exchange. I find, though, to be honest, with my experiences I've had, where I've been given the grace to kind of like talk to people. I wouldn't say go out and date frequently, but every now and then I'll, you know, have an exchange with a male. We might hang out or talk on the phone for some time, or text and stuff for some time. I usually do attract men that are not on that same level. Yeah, some of them don't really understand certain things, and I feel like spirit does pair people together, because there is something that I believe, that people are gifts to each other. Like, spirit can bring someone to you in your life as a gift to you, you know, in so many ways, and vice versa, you being a gift to someone else and be a blessing in someone's life. And I feel like that exchange is meant to help people, whether it's an assignment for a time or you and your partner, you're meant to help each other. It was a couple on YouTube, and it's a lady that I love, and I enjoy watching her channel. She's a prophetic voice, and she was sharing her story about her and her husband, how they met. And she knew her husband was him when she seen him, because she was, all of the prophecies, all of the dreams that she had. So going back to that other question that someone asked, yes, you can know before, you know, you guys come together. It's just it's a download, and it may not be cultivated until, yeah. I'll get to your question in a minute, Trinity. So the question, what was it? Spiritual levels. She was saying that one of the greatest deliverance in Christianity is free, like basically healing and purging and freeing yourself of things that don't serve you, basically. In other words, she said the greatest deliverance that you'll ever have is in a marriage. Because when you get married, there's a lot of stuff that has to come out. You're merging yourself with another person, and vice versa. It's not just you anymore. You're not just separate individual. You become yoked with another person. Your lives become one, in a sense. You still have your individuality. And I understand this. Going back to one of my friends, she said that just because I got married doesn't mean that all of my wounds went away. Like, they were highlighted, you know. And I do believe that as a partner, when we come together, it does help when two or more are gathered in God's name, or in that divinity together, that there's a power in that. Just like collective prayers, when people do seances and prayers and whatever together, there's a power behind it, because it's not just one circuit, it's multiple circuits, right? So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, sis. Okay, let's see. How old were you when you started dabbling into spirituality and discovered your gifts? I didn't really start getting into spirituality until like my mid-20s, but my gifts have always been there since I was a little kid. Like, I've always had the gift of prophecy and dreams. Like, that was always there. And I used to kind of freak people out in my family. I remember I told my aunt something that I saw. I didn't understand how to interpret the dream, but I was explaining to her, and she started crying. And it was weird. It was a little weird. But yeah, that was my first. And I think I was still in elementary school when that happened to me. So, all right. These aren't really spirituality and dating questions, so I'm gonna skip this. I think that's all from Instagram from what I can see. So I'm gonna go back to YouTube, and I'm gonna answer Trinity. How does that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So yeah, if anybody has any other questions in regards to spirituality and dating, like what is good topics? I don't want to give too much away, because like I said, my experiences in my journey, I want to share that on this podcast with Nina. So you guys will be able to hear that and hear her take and her experiences. 'Cause I feel like it's needed. You know what I mean? We lightly touched on it, but I'll just say this. to go back to, oh no, wait, I missed the question. Let me go back. My sis Alexis, I seen you. I don't know how I missed it. Let me go back. How did I skip it? Oh no, that wasn't a question, was it? Yes, it is. How do you successfully remove a soul tie? So pretty much what my other question was, she asked, how do you free yourself or remove a connection or something like that. I can't remember how she worded it. Same thing. Don't look at that person's social media. Get rid of the person's phone or contact. If you feel led to block this person, and I always say this too, because I feel like, I don't know why I'm being led to say this, but I'm just going to say this real quick. Sometimes the people that we are supposed to be with are not in their right mind spiritually. And what I mean by that, I'm not saying like somebody that is married or somebody that is abusive towards you, whether that's verbally, emotionally, physically, mentally, like, I'm not talking about that. But your person may not be in their right, they're not following their divine path. They're still operating off of their wounds and their insecurity. They're still chasing after women that appease their flesh, or appeal to their flesh or their ego or superficial things. They might be running from their spiritual calling or purpose, and you might trigger that in them. They're not ready to level up with you. And if spirit says, yeah, this is your person, or you've been called to be together, but it's not time, I would say, like, detach from that person. Don't be all up under this person's butt, like trying to get in their face every 5 minutes, trying to contact them, see what they up to, watching them, stalking them on social media. Oh, who is this girl? Who is this dude? Like, separate yourself and detach from that. But if it's somebody you need to release, that is not for you, that's like a counterfeit. When I say counterfeit, is like a person that is holding the space and position that they're not called to be in. They're not your person. And this is why I say, like, I don't know if I should share this, my take on dating. I'm learning that sometimes dating in your I wouldn't say waiting period, but just kind of like while you're waiting for the right person, you're still living your life, but you're holding space to connect, or some of you reconnect with the person that you are supposed to be with. In that time, me personally, I don't feel like God wants me to be out here just dating and talking to people, because especially you're just here for a time to entertain me. It's like, why be here? Because you're blocking space. Or if I'm waiting too long and I'm like, okay, where's the person? Then you might start falling for the wrong person. Then you create this soul attachment and tie or emotional attachment to somebody that's not even supposed to be with you. They're a counterfeit because they're not supposed to be in that seat that, that a person that's for you was called to be in. So it's like kind of wasting your time a little bit, you know what I mean? Because it's not going to really go, in essence, it's not going to go anywhere. Me and my aunt had a discussion the other night, and I asked her a question. I asked the question that one of you guys asked because I wanted to see what she said. I asked her, is it possible to know who your husband is before you meet them? And she was like, yeah. She said, what happened to her? And I'm not going to get too much into her business, but she was like, you can go against what you're supposed to, like, and some people don't believe that there's only one person for you. They believe you decide that. We have free will. So yeah, there might be someone that we're divinely, more equally yoked, or spirit can see you and this person. You guys would be beneficial being together for such and such reasons. If it's one of it, because people, the twin flame thing, it just derives from, it's just bits and pieces taken from what a divine union is, like the essence and template of what a true divine connection really is, without all of the runner, chaser, narcissistic, empath dynamics of that twin flame shit, right? There's always a counterfeit version of something. So when it comes to divine unions that have purposes in them, where you and a person have a purpose together, you have your own individual purposes, but they coexist together, they complement one another. That's different. That's why I always say, like, when you're called, or when you're chosen, as people like to say, or you're anointed for something, you can't just date everybody. And I'm going to take this from my sister Tori. She's a fellow reader as well from Guided Intuition Tori. She said, every healer needs a protector. We all are protected with our angels, our spiritual team, and God. We have that protection first and foremost. That is our protective. But on earth, physically, spirit will assign certain people to your life in divine helpers, right? Divine helpers. Um, just as the agents of the dark will assign demonic helpers in your life, right? To distract you and to derail you from your purpose, or to get you to forfeit it, abort your purpose, right? So, two people coming together that is divinely meant to be together, I feel like that's true. That exists. That's real. You know what I mean? You can't just date everybody. Some people they don't have that, like, God plants that seed inside of us to love people, just like when you're a parent and you have multiple children, you love them all equally, but the way that you love them, how you express your love may be a bit different because we're all unique, right? So when you marry a person, that person is going to love you in a way that no other man or no other woman can, because it's been planted in them to love you in that way or that capacity. So some people, you might feel like, oh, you're being rejected sometimes. No, you are being protected, either because the person is not in the space to give you what you deserve at the time, and they got to do their own healing work, because you're so much worthy than settling for somebody that's going to treat you half-assed, show up halfway, not call you or text you on time. Like, yeah, we got communication skills. Everyone does, probably in different ways, or could better their communication skills, and we all communicate differently. So that's its own thing. But when it comes to, like, people that know that they're not doing right, they playing games with you, they keeping you on the side, they got somebody else, you're not a side chick, you're not a side dude. You deserve your own person. You don't got to chase after someone else's man or somebody else's woman. Like, there's someone for you. And let's say that your person that you're meant to be with is in a counterfeit relationship, not a marriage. Marriages are off limits because they're covets between their divine contracts. Even if it be that someone married a person that they're not called to be with, once they say their vows, that's a contract. Leave it alone. But sometimes people will be in relationships, dating people, having sex with people that are not for them, right? You deserve more than that. Until somebody shows up correctly, and women, I feel like that self-love thing where we feel like we got to settle for a man, or even some women that deal with women, you feel like you got to settle for the prize. You look at the man or the opposite of you as this prize, right? You look at the masculine as a prize. When it's the opposite, really is. Women give birth and give life, and men that hate women, they don't like what I'm about to say, and I don't give a shit. It is what it is. Women are gifts because they bring life. And I said this before, that just because you give birth to a child doesn't make you a mother in essence. A woman that's never had a child can still love a child with that same essence of nurturing and loving as if she birthed that child. So that's just something that's instilled. That's something that's, and is women are gifts because they are life givers. That's gifting, right? You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a woman. So women, you are the gift, you are the prize. And I'm not saying it in the sense of, buy me this, buy me. I'm not talking about that type of stuff. But you deserve to be respected, especially when you are called, especially when you are giving and loving people. You deserve that same respect. You don't chase after nothing. So I'm going to, if y'all have, like I said, if you guys want to, we can open, discuss, and talk about this. I don't want it to just be all of what I'm saying and all of my views, but you deserve to be loved and respected as a woman and as a man, especially as women, because, like I said, we've been taught to be the footstool to a man and to not follow your goals or your dreams. You're only subject to cooking and staying in the kitchen and cleaning and laying on your back when somebody wants you to, like, and women fighting amongst each other over a man. Like, it could be one man in a room and all these women, they're gonna fight over that one man, and that one man is not for everybody, right? So why are you fighting over him? Why? And that's why too, I be sitting back. I don't compete with women for men. If it's for me, it's for me. I ain't gotta compete with you. And that's just life in general. Like, you don't got to compete for anything, because what's for you is for you, right? We've been taught to be catty and who can be the most beautiful, and the older you get, the more you realize that you're not always going to be the quote unquote most baddest in the room, or the most prettiest, or the most thinnest, or the most curviest, or the most intelligent, or whatever. The person that is for you is for you. So all that, like, and we've all been guilty. I know I've been guilty of this. And this is from not knowing any better, not being taught, because a lot of our mothers, you know, they have their own wounding as well, from generations to generations, and their mothers and grandmothers, right? What is it? J. Cole, Love You. Love Yours by J. Cole. Yeah. It's all about self-love. I feel like that is the key to, like, love. And not to say that you got to be this perfect human being, because we're not all perfect. And I use the example that for some couples, like, the greatest deliverance and healing and understanding love will come from, I gotta fix my necklace, like, for real, because it's like starting to look a little crazy back here. I gotta fix it. But the greatest experience that you have with love, or teaching you how to love, I do believe children too. Children are meant to do that. Some parents don't embrace the gift of a child. Children are gifts too. I do believe that. But when it comes to love and relationships, it's so powerful, because love is powerful. And the exchange between man and woman, or people in general, partnerships and communion with family, friends, collective, we all desire that connectedness with one another. We all do. In essence, we do. We all want to be a part of something, whether it's with people that look like you, or fellow women or fellow men, or love. Like I said, when people come together in that powerful vibration of love, it's a energy, it's a powerful energy that goes off. There's things that can be created amongst that. And I do really believe that the enemy hates marriage, real, true love. They hate people coming together. They hate unity. So that's why you see so many things such as racism and discrimination and all of this hate in the world, and cheating and all this stuff becoming so rapid and so marketed in the media too, and things like that. And of course, generational trauma plays a role in some of these things as well. Things that we've been taught, these seeds come from somewhere, right? But when people truly come together, like, and you imagine this, and it might seem like some John Lennon preschool sing-along fantasy, I don't know. But I do really believe that if people were to come together collectively, more so than they are separate, there would be so much change in this planet, and there's so much of an awakening that happens, because it's kind of like a light bulb goes off, and a light bulb will go off if it just be a thing of, even if it's just, I respect you as a community, I respect your community, I respect your race, your culture, whatever. We can all coexist and respect each other. We don't have to necessarily all intertwine in it. But if that's the case, then just respect one another. And I feel like that's an issue. It's an issue. Respecting. It is the issue. And then these man and woman wars have been going on for years, but like nowadays, it's just like the stuff that I see on YouTube. I don't know about y'all. The stuff that I see on YouTube, and then the numbers of DV cases is really rapid, and it's really horrifying. Like, not to say that has never been a thing, but it seems like it's more and more. And things with women and children, it's like that type of crimes against those, it's hurtful, it's painful, it's disheartening. Right. Yeah, people gonna think you crazy if you tell them, no, I'm not gonna date, I'm waiting. I mean, it's kind of like a person saying, I'm not gonna have sex until marriage. Like, nowadays, people might be looking at you like you crazy, because sex is so casual. It's a casualty. It's whatever now. And not only that, Chris Rock, I went to Chris Rock the other night, I think it was Sunday, and he said something that was so funny. He was like, people will eat somebody's, you know what, backside, rear end, before they hold their hand. And it's so true. Like, people will hook up with people the first day, first night, whatever, and be doing some wild shit in the bedroom, but will never hold your hand or take you out on a date, which is ludicrous to me. It's crazy. That's why I say, like, sex is just, it's too casual. It's way too casual. And I'm not above certain things because, like, I've lived my life, you know, at a young age, not really knowing any better. I didn't have the talk until I already lost my V word. You know what I mean? That already happened, and my mom now you want, like, no. And I want to and to be the person that talks with my daughter and lets her know, because at the end of the day, let's keep it real. People gonna do what they want to do. Children or teenagers, they want to do something, they're gonna do it at the end of the day. But you at least want to be that voice of reason, or you know, showing them the consequences of certain things that you do. There's a consequence with every action. Once you have a conscious awareness of right and wrong, there's, you know, you have that choice to make, right? But I didn't have that. I didn't have no one to tell me, Chinoa, that's valuable. If you sleep with a man, you're giving a part of yourself away to that person or with that boy, right? Because girls are having sex at very young ages, right? I wish I would have had somebody tell me that. If it wasn't my mother, then I wish it was my father that would have told me that. I think my dad didn't want to see that side. I remember I told him when I had my first boyfriend, he didn't want to hear about that. But you can't have that avoidance to real things. Like, I wish I would have had that direction, because I probably would have never given it away. If I would have known what I knew now, I wouldn't have. And I wouldn't have my daughter if I wouldn't have done it. But still, I wish I would have known better. Yeah, so people are going to think you're crazy. And there's a lot of people that I wish I just, like, I would have thought twice about who I was giving my energy away to. Like, I wish I would have known better. But at the time, I was young. I didn't know no better. I did not know what I was getting myself into. And I'm sure they don't either. Like, boys are taught to get it in as much as possible. Hit as many of them as you can. Like, that's what they're taught most of the time, right? Or at least that's what they're shown. Like, that's a prize. That's something to achieve. Like, hit as many as you can before you settle down, right? And even then, when they settle down, some of them still don't feel like it's enough. But that's a him or them problem. And some women have that thing too, where I don't care, I'm gonna just sleep with whoever, I don't care, right? That's a inside issue, because you're looking outside of yourself. Just as, like, people might have addictions to other things, like, it's a part of you that's trying to fill a void. So when you're giving your body and men, sex to them is not what sex is to a woman. So sex to a woman is like, I'll lay down with him, we'll grow this attachment, and probably he'll fall in love with me, he'll want to, you know, be with me over everyone else because he slept with me, I gave in, or I did this and that for him, I did this and that in the bedroom. That don't mean nothing. You could have that, like, child, like, speaking from experience too, like, that does not mean anything. And some women think because a man is constantly obsessing over that, you got him like that. No, you are appealing to the lust in him. Like, he's coming back for more. Yeah, it's probably tapping into some stuff another woman is not doing. So he's going to keep coming back to you. But that doesn't mean, that's not a reflection of you being the best as far as who's in his heart. No. And we all know that just because you didn't sleep with a man, that does not make it exempt for them to go on and move on to somebody else, or show you that it wasn't that. You know what I mean? And that was my problem. Why I lost my virginity was thinking that I was doing something that I was supposed to do, and something that would bring me and a person closer, No, that didn't stop anything. They could tell you they love you in bed, all like that's nothing to the. I'm telling you, like it's hormones that go off. That doesn't mean anything. After the fact, no, that doesn't mean anything. Sex does not mean the same thing to a man as it does to a woman. It just doesn't. So, can men express their love sexually? Yes, just like women can. But don't put that thing on a pedestal. I'm going to give my body away. I'm going to give my womb to you, my portal to you, and just allow the committee to come on in. Like, yeah, you can come on in. Yeah, you can come on in. Yeah. No. No. Your womb is not a charity spot. No. And some people don't want to hear that. Because like I said, sex is just like, it's like eating Skittles now. Like, you can just pop one, pop another one. Let me get some more of that. Like, literally. Like, so you can go on a website real quick and just, want to hook up? Yeah, let's hook up. There's no dating hardly no more. And, like, thank God for those that still do court and really want to court you. They're not taking you out just to get some at the end of the night or, oh, I'm going to spend all this money. Like, I've seen some crazy stuff on TikTok. It was this video with this guy. I think they were in Florida. Florida people be cracking me up. Some of them, not all of them. But they went to this really nice restaurant, I'm assuming. He was like, I've been trying to talk to you for months and blah, blah, blah. And I finally took you to this place you wanted to go here. You ain't coming back to the room, or you ain't coming back to my house with me, or my room, or something like that. And she was like, no. Like, but this is my thing, like, because women, we can be wrong too. Like, those that like to go out on dates just to trick, like, get tricked on, like, take me to this expensive restaurant because I know that you into me and you've been trying to get at me for years or for weeks. I'm gonna let you take me out to this hot spot so you can be sitting on your social media posting steaks and all kind of stuff, and then at the end of the night, dude looking at you like, oh, I put all this in. And it shouldn't be that way, but I probably worded that wrong, because I'm not saying that you should give it up because you did this, but it's like, don't lead people on, like purposely trying to like lead someone on to get something out of them. That's silly. My thing is like, if you don't got it like that, then don't be trying to like spend money on women that's, you know, that it's not going to go anywhere with. You're investing in the person that's like just wasting your energy. So that's the other side of it, because I'm not just going to get on the men and say that they're all in the wrong with this, but that whole thing of looking for exchange or transaction sexually after you have dinner, no. That's, at that point, that's prostitution. So unless it's an escort type of thing, that's different. But just a regular date, I don't see the purpose in that. I don't. So, I mean, and there's simplistic things. There's more intimate things to do. But it's like now, I feel like it might be a younger generation. I feel like my generation and up, the standard is different, as opposed to the men and women of this new generation, or those that were born probably like, I would say 1995 and up, or 1999. Like, those are a completely different breed of people. No shade, but just saying. Like, what's a date, right? That intimacy is not there anymore. The Netflix and chill culture is a thing too. It's just, there's no effort. There's no courting involved. There's no intimacy in getting to know a person as a person. It ain't always got to be about sex. Like, dang. And half the time it doesn't always got to be, oh, I'm trying to get married today. You just got to get to know a person. And like I said, if you're called to date, because I feel like sometimes it's good to interact with people, but if you know that it's just a distraction, or you feel like it could be potentially something where you get attached to the wrong person, then, you know, that's different. You make that judgment call. That's for you. I know for me personally, like, that's something that I have to be careful of. Especially if it's not the person that's for you, or a person that doesn't mean any well or good for you. It's like, okay, talking to a man that's does not have any intentions on really getting to know you, or doesn't hold the capacity to really hang. Like, some people can't hang with you, and it's not anything wrong with them or anything wrong with you necessarily. It's just a matter of that's not for you. People are at different levels in their consciousness, their emotional intelligence, their maturity levels on different ways, or their journey or their path. It just may not align or make sense, you know. I do believe we meet people for a reason, but some people are just meant for a season. Some people are just assignments and experiences, you know what I mean? Not something that is meant to stay in your life or play that major life role, you know what I mean? Like, just like friends come and go in some extent, or you learn who's your true friends and you learn who's not your true friend, right? You'll learn that if it's the man or woman that's truly for you, does this person have your best will and intentions, or is this somebody that's just a space filler to distract you or to cause that separation from where you're supposed to be, or maybe who you're supposed to be with? Because if you're entertaining another person, unless you're in the space to be like, okay, cool, I got what I needed out of this situation, or we vibed, we connected, okay, cool, you go on about your life, I go on about mine, and you're able to move on from that, I feel like, okay, cool. If it's one of those things where you're like confused, oh, I don't know if this is the person I'm supposed to be with, is this my soulmate, is this my twin flame, like these in and out characters, like speaking from experience, like that is not cool. Like, it's very frustrating, for one. It's very confusing to your heart and into your mind and your spirit when you're entertaining multiple people, or you're still holding on to the potential of this person being the one, or them coming back, or you know what I mean? Before you close the door on one man or woman, you're entertaining another one, even though that other person's still sitting in your heart, right? Or that yearning or that sexual desire for that person is that somebody in the past, or someone that you're still dangling or has you dangling. Cut those soul ties off. Cut them off. What do you need them for? I feel like that's kind of like a fear. Like, cut them off completely, so you have a clear mind, a clear heart. Like, it's just you. Like, you're not confused. You have time to like really sit with yourself, like get to know who you are. And when the right person comes into your life and you into theirs, it's almost time. I'm going to end this at 4 o'clock. It's 3:53 here. But you're going to know. You're going to know who your person is. It's not going to be too much confusion, I feel like, whether you've already met them or when they come into your life, and they will know. Is it possible that just because you know, they know? Not always. Sometimes, due to things that we got to get within ourselves, we're not ready to receive that type of revelation. Slipped my mind what I was just going to say with that video where I put out you're not their type or something like that. A person, because I see this a lot too, and I've heard this a lot, people saying that their person was not their type, because the type is what keeps you single. And when we think of a person that's not our type, we automatically think of someone we're not going to be attracted to. And that's not true. Your type may not only just be physical. It could be a type of personality or character of a person. Like, some women, they have a type in a way that is someone that's like the player type, right? Someone that is emotionally unavailable. It's like a chase. It's like a thrill. Or, oh, you know, for this person to take their time out to notice me and all of that, you know. And just like a man, like in some cases, they were the nerd or whatever the case may be. They might have not been the cute one. They look way better, way different, whatever. I shouldn't say better, but look different, more mature. They have a good job, or they might even have money like that, right? Then they start attracting those girls that would just pay them dust, wouldn't even look at them, wouldn't even talk to them. But it's filling that void inside of the little boy or the little girl that's, I'm being validated. For you to date me or to entertain me, even if I know it's not really for the right reasons, you're entertaining that part of me that's void, that felt rejected. So the type, we chase that type because it's filling that programming. And then when we see the person that we're attracted to, somebody, it's like, wait a minute, she's not my type. She's black, or she's white, or she's Latino, or she has red hair, or something that you don't see all the time, or she's a little thicker than what I'm used to. Why am I attracted to her? And it's this thing, or a guy, like, he's kind of like a little bit of a little nerd a little bit. Why do I like him though? He's not ghosting me. He's texting me all the time. And then when you're a wounded woman, that if you've been there before, like, consistency can turn you off when it's from the person that really has good intentions. It's kind of like, oh, he's so boring, oh my god, because you're so used to that chase, and you're so used to the mind games and you being put on the side, and then when they're ready to pick you up, then they call you, and that's wounding. That's rejection issues, that's abandonment issues. So you heal that stuff and you see that it's really toxic and it's not something that you deserve, then you desire someone that is emotionally available, because there's a part of the self that's not emotionally available. So you're attracting the emotional unavailability. But when it comes to like the types and all that, going back to that, some people, they don't know what they're, because it's like what I was getting in that video, or what I said in the video, my mentor in her live, she was saying that spirit of lust in people, you're lusting off of the IG model. Not to say that they're not worthy of love, but a lot of times their focus is not on genuine connection. It's on money, it's on attention, and that in itself is wounding. It's on, I should be treated a certain way. I should be, spoiled. I should be this and that because I'm a bad bee, or I got all these likes and followers. There's no real true connection in that. It's all superficial, right? It's all about lust. It's all about vanity. So when a man is chasing that thing, it's because something in them is like, this is a trophy. This is validating me, or my boys are going to think I'm, look at you, you got, okay, you got her, okay, like, you know what? That blah, 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 right? No. The woman that is emotionally available, sound, healthy, someone that you can really build a relationship or friendship with, that will turn you off to an extent, because it's like, it's not what I'm used to. That part of the self that's wanting to be loved by the wrong woman or even the wrong man, it's going to trigger something in you that's like, okay, no, I don't want it, or I don't know about it. Like, I'm attracted to this person. I don't know why I'm attracted to them. I don't know why I like them, but no, I don't want it. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't look like the package that you're constantly chasing after. And sometimes we got to say, like, why? I remember when looking back at the types that I was into, it was like, why? Why? For what? And I wasn't the popular girl in school. Like, yeah, the popular people knew about me because I might have had a friend that was popular, or knew, or had cousins or whatever in that. And I'll never forget, it was this boy that was in the popular crowd that did like me. Hey sis, hey Nina. That did like me. Never told me until we were like 18 years old, 19, I think it was like 18, 19. He confessed, like, I always liked you. But because I wasn't the popular girl and I didn't have this and I didn't have that, you didn't want to approach me. That's sad. Like, what? It's fucking sad. So, no. So, our type can keep us single sometimes. Well, where are we at? Okay, that's our time, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed this. My goodness, that was a lot. And yeah, look out for a podcast. Me and Nina are going to do a podcast. Going a little deeper. We're going to share our experiences, and I'm excited to do this one. I'm excited. So much love to y'all. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Nina said, tough in the streets for our kind. It kind of is. It kind of is. Kind of is. You can't settle. I refuse to settle. I've tried. Like, when I say settle, it's like settling for something that I know that's not for me, or that's not, what it's going to be right. You know what I mean? I can't do it anymore. I tried in the past, and it just doesn't work. It's almost like spirit is like, no. And sometimes you do need a divine separation. Like I said, you could have the person that's for you in your face, but if y'all not ready, they're not healed in a certain capacity, y'all not receptive to the divine plan or the purpose for you guys, or where you're supposed to be within your own individual lives, spirit will separate you. So kind of sounds like twin flame stuff, but not the toxic thing, because you should be progressing in your separation, in your own healing, in your own purpose in life, and you should be healing, you should be elevating, you know what I mean? So I hope that helps. I'm gonna leave it there. Much love as always. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but my mic, I think, came right in because my AC is so loud, and my little light, the little thing that looks like the little ocean waves, that has this weird sound, this motor sound to it. So that could also be because, you know, these iPhones and stuff, these little things, they pick up sound really good. I could be in the kitchen and y'all probably could hear me. They pick up sound really good, but the wrong sound. So hey, sometimes. So shout out to the little mic. You guys can hear better. I'm glad. I hope the video was popping. So much love to you guys as always. Be blessed, be safe, y'all. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.